Hey, everybody! Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. And yesterday, if you haven't noticed, we weren't live yesterday, because it was sell-off Sunday, for one. But the wife wanted to spend more time with us as a family unit, so therefore, because I had no ticket sales for the day, we decided that we would hold it off until tomorrow. So this is tomorrow. And I'm sorry about yesterday, but we promise to do this every single day, I know, at roughly around this hour, which is 5:19 right now. And this is the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 networking raffle. So SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle, you're in the right place. For everyone else, massive love show to the entire world, right? So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are in the world. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us all your aspections, exceptions. So the raffle needs viewers to the website. Now, unfortunately, I am still paying for this other website, which is still going on. Let's see if I can. I'm supposed to be updating this new website, which is supposed to be faster and quicker and has way more utility, way more different aspects to it, so it can give us way better insight, and it looks way better. So that's the whole purpose of the website, and everybody gets together and enjoys the entertainment, because that's what we're all about, is entertaining you with making you extremely wealthy. Hola! Carver, Watson. Just gonna call you Watson. Watson! So, hola to Watson. Thanks for coming to the channel. Make sure, if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, and comment. Well, you already commented. But massive love shout out to hey, everybody. Okay, what do we want to talk about tonight? We want to talk about the raffle. Hold on a second here. We'll get right into the website, which is SHIB. No, to subscribe costs absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Emmanuel, say hi. Hi, massive love show to Emmanuel. Massive love show to Watson. No, the subscription doesn't cost you nothing. Okay, this is a SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. Yeah, so make sure when you subscribe, keep up to date on what's going on with the raffle. So the raffle part of it is to increase awareness for SHIB. Excellent. Thanks, Watson. You're the best. Thank you so much for your subscription. The only thing about subscription is you have to be on YouTube. You have to be affiliated with YouTube. So you have to create an account. That's all that means. 100% free. Right? We want to make sure everybody makes money by investing very little and getting the maximum amount of return back on your money. Now, right now, SHIB is undervalued by about 35 times its value, not market value, its value. That tells you, like when we were talking before, we said, hey, massive love show to Jason Cox. Your phone's not working. Oh, no. No, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, I hate that when your phone's not working very well, Jason. That's not good, buddy. Is that the only device that you have, though? Do you have a computer, or do you use a laptop or a tablet? Because my friend Prince has the same problem. He's using his phone too. And I'm like, how are you going to be able to check data entry on your phone? So when somebody wins the lottery and they get paid in SHIB, SHIB, when you get paid in SHIB, they got to confirm the number. Well, that number is going to look really small on your handheld device. Even if you tilt it, it's going to look really small. And besides that, you're not going to be able to open up the links. So when I send you the links that show the wallet addresses and stuff like that, you're going to have to see where that number is and then confirm that number is associated. So we have 2 or 3 different pairs of eyes looking at the winner's address so that when we send it, everybody can confirm it. If they change the wallet, because we'll ask them, you sure you want us to send you this money, not money, SHIB to your account? And they're going to say yay or nay. If they say yay, we're good to send it to the wallet that they use to buy SHIB with. If they say nay, then we need confirmation. So what they're going to do is they're going to email us the wallet address that they want to send it to. Then we're going to send that same wallet address back to them saying, is this the wallet address you want us to send it to? Because once we make that determination and we look over it, me, Prince, and Jason Cox, or whoever looks over it and says, that's the exact same wallet address, that wallet address goes on the website. Okay? Only the last 7 characters or 8 characters of that. We don't ever send the whole thing. Okay? So please be aware of that. So it's only the last 7 characters of the wallet address that we put on the website. We put the person's name on there. If they choose to have it on there, they can. Obviously, it's up to them how they want to proceed with that. We do not accept abbreviations for people's names. That we don't do. So let's say you just want to use your first name and your last initial. That's fine. Okay, so you don't have to give the whole name. It's not for privacy. It's so that we keep a track record of who won, so people look at it and say, okay, they're legit. They have winners. They have comments at the bottom, and we don't hide comments. Whatever the comments are, those are the comments that stay on there on the blog. So if people are not familiar with what we're trying to do for every single person on the planet by increasing their wealth by the reduction in SHIB circulating supply, that's the whole point of it. So the person gets their winnings, and of course, right after that, everybody else wins, right? Everybody wins. We now host a big, massive rally, a big party, and then we shuffle and celebrate the reduction of SHIB circulating supply with the exact same amount that was given to the person that just won. So everybody wins. Unfortunately, majority of the people out there don't understand what value means, because we are trading at 35 times discount to our actual value. Like I said before, here's our value and here's the price. Now, if it was a stock, it would be the opposite, right? It would switch. Even your house is the exact opposite. Here's the value of your house and here's the market value. It's never the same. It's usually higher. It's only when you have massive problematic issues like tornadoes, something horrific had to happen, like a company all of a sudden goes bankrupt, and that was the only company in your town that was running the town. Then it might make a difference in that. But with SHIB, it's worldwide. It's a currency that's constantly reducing. So all SHIB raffle does is speed things up. That's it. Because exchanges are going to catch on to it. I'm shocked they haven't already. I'm shocked the banking sector has just started taking notice of it, but they haven't started getting their feet wet in it yet. I don't know if it's because they're trying to figure out what the regulations or how they want to implement it into their daily activities. Because as soon as they go too far with it, everybody understand what that means? They go too far? That means they're starting to compete with the companies of origin. Okay? Countries of origin, not companies. Countries of origin. So the country sets a standard to pay back its debt using the way they control inflation. Same with the Fed, how they control inflation is to either increase or decrease the lending amount to the bank standard. Now, if SHIB comes in there, SHIB can do whatever it wants. It can charge 1.99% or 99.999%. And it blow everybody out of the water, and then they can't compete with it. None of the countries can compete with it. All the money is lost. They can't keep up with inflation because SHIB can just undercut every single institution in the world, causing nothing but havoc on inflation. Because hey, you're not going to lend it to me for this price, but I can go to this other bank, crypto.com, and they can issue me a loan, $700,000 loan for less than 1%. And then they're not telling you, but 0.5 of that or 0.10% of that is going toward the burn of SHIB. Because they don't care if you pay it back. You understand that? It's not about paying it back. It's about paying them to reduce the circulating supply of SHIB. Once they understand that, people don't understand that concept. Once they start doing that, what's going to happen? Every single banking institution is going to do the exact same thing. And then they're not going to give out personal loans, because if they give out personal loans, the banks, the countries of conduct will shut them down. But corporate, now to get a corporate loan, now we're talking, because they're talking 2 to 4% per. That means 1% for sure of every single time you make a payment is going toward the reduction of SHIB circulating supply. That's massive, because that's going to incentivize getting a loan through them, because it's lower than everybody else, because everybody else is 12 to 14%, and they're offering it for 4.99%. Like, no one can cut that for them, because most corporations is on a Milky. Pollution in the world, bad or good, or population. Pollution. Okay, there was an article today. I don't know if anyone's aware of this, but there was an article this morning that came out and said that we are, I know, pollution. What we are today is we're contributing 0.0004 of the world's pollution. Or is it? No, sorry, that's wrong. That's what 0.004 was the pollution rate of the world. Okay? That's not us, though. That's just regular, everyday emissions coming off. That's the volcano ash, which is 1,000 times worse than anything that we can produce. Right? 100,000 times more than we can produce. So please keep that in mind. So the pollution rate is 0.004. Okay? We contributed 0.0011%. That's our contribution. Now, that being said, are we polluting the oceans with crap? Yes, we are. We're throwing waste into the ocean. That's bad, extremely bad. But if we're talking about emissions, we are not contributing enough to even worry about. I know that certain countries is really bad and that they have to get their act together, but most of those countries that don't are all focused on what kind of industry? They're not focused on the pollution. They just wear masks day in and day out. They've just gotten used to wearing masks because it's hard to breathe. So they just wear masks. Instead of trying to focus on what's causing or what the root problem of it is, no, let's just keep breathing. We'll just give everybody a mask, though. Okay, so pollution, and this is a good thing for Mikey. Okay, Mike? This is a good thing for everybody. So we either volunteer to clean it up or you pay someone to clean it up. And there's a lot of it. If you go to the Philippines, you notice it right off the bat. People don't care. And where do they live? Right off of the ocean. Dave's Macing, the cool guy. He's back. I'm in the house. Look like someone, bro. I should be somebody. I'm Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. Why do we host a raffle every single night, even though we don't sell tickets? Because we are promoting SHIB continuously. Because SHIB is working hard for you, too, by reducing its circulating supply. Well, no, that's the whole thing, right? We recycle, but we're finding out different things about our recycling habits every single day, it seems like. Like you cannot throw anything that says, everything that you see on there that says recyclable, like on your containers, you stick it in your blue bin, right? And then they tell you, listen, we don't take those. But it says we don't take those. We only want cardboard that doesn't have any dirt or anything on it, so it's got to have no food. It's got, like, I'm serious. So you don't want us throwing the cardboard into the recycling bin. No, we want you to throw it in there, but we don't want you to throw it in there that has, food on it. And please, I love this one. This one's the best one. And I don't know if you guys all agree to this, but if you have coffee cups, your coffee cup, and it's got the plastic lid on it, and it says recyclable on the lid, and they tell you, no, throw that in the garbage bin. Throw your cup in the recycling bin. Not to get distracted from SHIB, Milk or Mike. People should clean up after themselves, but we're talking about SHIB. You're talking about possibly starting up a company that goes out and starts cleaning up the ditches and stuff. They already have those. They're called the penal system, right? Majority of them either are doing time or have to pay back in some way back to society. They get community service, and then they are forced to clean up dishes. I used to volunteer at the schools to clean up the schoolyards, and that was fun. We had a lot of fun doing that. Cleaning up the schoolyards and then around the schoolyards and cleaning up stuff like that. But that's getting away from the topic at hand. Topic is about you making money. Now, if you want to start a company in it, knock your socks off. We will support you. Right? Anything that helps the environment, of course, going to be all over it like white on rice. But please keep in mind that majority of what we do still goes back into the landfill, unfortunately. I'm Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. Anyone want to talk about what SHIB and how undervalued SHIB is? 35x right now. 35 times your money is what SHIB is selling at right now. It's 35x on a discount. Not 35%, 35x on a discount. So right now it's trading at 40 1321. That's the last time I checked it. Oh, excellent. Oh, I think they moved me. Excellent. So, yeah, we're going to be able to get that new website up and running as soon as possible. Okay, inflation. It is what it is, right? The reason why we have an inflation is because someone overspent money, and there isn't enough money to pay it forward to every single person. So what happens is we have overinflation. So that drives up the price of everything. That's what inflation means. And then to fight that inflation, what do? We increase interest rates to fight that inflation. So then they increase the interest rates so that the interest rates come down because no one has any disposable income anymore, forcing everybody to starve. No, it forces you to make budget cuts. So then once it comes back down too far, then you have to stimulate the economy. This sounds familiar, right? When you have to stimulate the economy, that means you have to give them a tax break. So what happens is they lower the interest rates. So the lending goes down. So then people go and get loans to pay for everything. The whole point of that, Milky. Yeah, so we are trading at a massive discount on to the markets. Let's get into that right now. We're trading at 13,140,13195 right now. Well, if you want to pay off your debt, yes. So, and of course, every country in the world right now, a lot of them are in well over their head. Like Canada's in way over its head. We got a spendthrift in there that wants to spend $500 billion in 4 years. I think that's like ridiculous. Like, we only have 43 million people, and that's it. 43 million, it. And then we have 1.2 million of them unemployed. So what does that mean for our country? You figure it out, right? That's not good. And then Hudson Bay closed their doors. Hey, Hudson Bay, been around for 200 years, right? Started the fur trade. Been around 200 years. They closed the doors on Sunday. Isn't that awesome? Wonder who we can thank for that. No residual income. No disposable income from individuals to help pay for everything. More people lining up at the food banks because there's no money to buy anything. So what happens when people can't afford to buy anything? Anybody? All of a sudden, all the companies, the malls and paw companies start going under. The bigger companies can hang it out for a little while longer, but eventually they fold because they're not going to pay people's salary, keep going further and further in debt to pay people. It just won't happen. So you got more people in the food bank. You got no disposable income anywhere. So what happens? Everything starts to collapse. All the non-essentials. So people who sell watches, all the people who sell jewelry, all the people who sell food, fast food, all going to go under eventually. And it's going to happen very fast, very rapidly, because all of a sudden there's no money. There's still no money. There's no disposable income from anybody. So what's going to happen? All these things start to collapse on themselves. We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about SHIB, because SHIB is what? Positive. Extremely positive. Lucrative. Extremely lucrative. 35 times you're going to make on your money once people start to realize the value of it. Unfortunately, they haven't started to realize that value. And when they do, it might be too late for them. That's why we want to try and get everybody into it as soon as possible, because it is trading at 4013915, because it's well undervalued, like extremely undervalued. Imagine trying to, okay, I put this on X. I don't know if anyone watched X. I put this on X for everybody. Grab your calculator or grab some paper and pen. $350,000 is your house. Now that's the market value, not the value. Your value is less than your market value. The value of your house is based on the land that it sits on and the amount that the government has stipulated that it's worth. Okay? So the house is a byproduct of the land. Does that make sense to everybody? So the value of it is probably around the $250,000 mark. But we wanted to look at the market value, the $350,000. Now, depending on what you got on it, will depend on how much you're going to be able to get for it. So let's say it's worth $350,000. The real estate agent comes out and says, in that area, without even looking at it, it's worth about $350,000. Now, you got upgrades to the house. You got a veranda, a balcony, a solarium, a sauna, a hot tub. All those things are going to add to the value. You upgraded the kitchen. It's going to add value to the, if you upgrade the master bedroom suite, it's going to increase the value of the house. How much? It depends on how much the land that's going for in your area is. So let's just use $350,000. $350,000. If you were to sell your land for 35 times less discounted price, 35 times less. Now, I don't know who would do that. It's 10 grand. So that's what they're selling SHIB right now. You're selling it at $10,000. Now, you think that that's nuts, right? Who the hell would do that? Even people who are getting divorced, who just want out, don't sell their house for that low. Not a chance. But that's what they're selling SHIB at right now. They're selling it 35 times less. And this has been going on for 4 years. And how many people figured it out? I told you crypto is kind of funny because people think of crypto as it's kind of funny. But when you're selling with 35 less the discounted price, you either don't know or you're not paying attention. That's what we keep telling you. The $6 million that was burned doesn't mean anything to anybody. Are you kidding me? Doesn't mean a thing to you. $6 million gone forever. Doesn't mean anything to you. What about the 4 billion or 6 billion that was taken out of the market? What about that? What was going on with that? No one cared about that either. We had a 72 million % run up in 2021. Like SHIB was on fire, broke world records. And they're saying, well, can it do it again? Absolutely. With the massive amount of reduction in SHIB circulating supply, it could take off tomorrow. Will it? Probably not. How many people are going to see this? And then how many people are going to tell 100 of their closest friends about it? So that they can all jump in and then turn your $100 investment into a $3,500 investment. Right? How many people are going to do that? Going to phone up 100 friends and say, hey, listen, you want to turn your $100 into $3,500 overnight? You need to get into SHIB immediately. Buy $100 worth. Do you think anyone's going to do that? Okay, hold on a second, Nick. Mike, sorry about that. Proof of stake is way better than proof of work. And that's why I don't like Ethereum, because of what they did. What they're doing is it works for them, but it doesn't work for everybody else. Proof of work is supposed to be the exact same, but it isn't. Before they're giving you 30% on your differences, and now they're giving you 10%, and they're keeping the rest. So that's the whole thing with the proof of work. It's just harder to throw through, and it's easier for them to change it, because it's not. They're saying it's the exact same, but when you look closely at it, they're giving you less, they're doing less, and giving you less, and they're paying themselves more. The proof of stake was actually better, worked better for everybody, because you're actually inside the blockchain, making a percentage of whatever you put in there from the blockchain. Now, what it is they're showing the avenues of which they're going through it, and then giving you a cut of that, which is less than what it was before. So which one do I like better? Of course, stake. Right? Everybody should be the same way. You're getting more money back, the 3-4% on your day. What was it working out to? 0.01% a day on your return investment, towards your return investment. So it was way better. Then now with work, it's based on the month, not based on the daily. It's based on the monthly. And then you look at it and say, okay, well, it's not giving me the exact. It's giving you less. And you think that, okay, when you're doing a daily's paying you more. Dot pays you daily, right? But they lowered the dividend that they're giving back to the people. So they're staking, They're giving you less because they're, again, we don't like CEOs and CFOs of companies. Because if they make a mistake, and they make mistakes all the time, if they make a mistake, it hurts the who? Investor. Dot did the exact same thing. Hurt the investor, lowered the dividend, because what they were trying to do is increase the amount of money that's coming in by R&D. But what they were trying to do didn't pan out. So there's less money available for them. So someone has to pay for that. So how do they do it? They backtrack and don't pay the dividend, or they cut the dividend. So it was 12%, now it's 6 to 7%. Make sense, everybody? And that's proof, that's stake, okay? That work. Ethereum is work. They went from staking to working, and I think there's another one too. I don't know if Solana is doing that too. I've gone back to proof. I think I don't know if they've, I think they went back to work. I don't think they do staking. There's very few of the companies that do staking. That's why I loved DOT so much. Yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah, security wise, it's way better, right? But you don't get near. You're paying for that, Mick. You're paying for that, right? That adds security. You're paying for it, and it's already implemented on their on their exchange or blockchain. It's already implemented on there. So, what was it that you're asking about SHIB? SHIB is a currency. There's something here I read on here, Mike. Oh, manipulation, SHIB manipulation. Well, I beg to differ, because majority of what you stake, yeah, okay, it does come with risk, but it's on that exchange, and that exchange is usually highly secure, or it's supposed to be. Terra Luna, you could make the case of Terra Luna, of what was going on there. There's proof there was staking going on, and that it was easily manipulated because their firewalls were not very secure. But that's each individual problem, right? Because they're using DeFi. Like, you think about this, you're using DeFi. DeFi is supposed to be what? Extremely secure. And manipulation, okay, SHIB can be manipulated. It's being manipulated right now by who? BlackRock, Robinhood, Binance, and Crypto.com. Biggest contributors to SHIB right now, because they can control it. 3 major exchanges can control SHIB. And so they can pretty much do whatever they want with it. But if SHIB becomes extremely valuable, where it's supposed to be, 35 times more valuable than it is right now, that would be less. Okay, so spoil. Okay, DCAing in. Anybody? What do we recommend? Highly recommend to everybody, just lottery tickets worth into SHIB. Now, we know it's worth 35 times more than it is right now. So when it gets higher, it's going to be less, right? You're going to get there less. You're going to, it's going to be 30 times, then 28 times. So your dollar cost averaging is based on you, okay? So it's your money. We can't tell you when it's going to take off. It should already have taken off months ago, years ago. It should have just went through the roof and stayed there because of the constant reduction in SHIB circulating supply. The more we reduce, the more it's worth. So everybody should be piling into it. But we always recommend what? Just because you don't miss $5, $6, right? You're not going to miss it. That's a cup of coffee. Now, do we recommend doing it every day? Hell no. We recommend doing it once a week. It depends on your budget. If you have the budget for it and you're not going to miss $100, then do $100. If you're not going to, if it's going to hurt you to do $100 a week, or two weeks, or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, don't do it. Try $5 a week. If that doesn't work, $5 every 2 weeks, $5 every 3 weeks, $5 every 4 weeks. Whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing, that you can look at it and say, that's not gonna hurt me whatsoever. That's what you do. That's how you do it, to be smart, right? And dollar cost average in, that's your dollar cost average in. Now, Spaniel, you bought at the top. So you think about it. How much did you spend at the top? To cut that in half, you have to spend the exact same amount at the bottom. To lower it to half. You want to take advantage of it, you double that again to lower it even further. You understand that? Yeah, no problem. So that's how you work it. So if you spent $250 and it was at like 4 or 3, 5, 4 zeros, 3, 5, to lower that, you need to buy $250 worth, like at the bottom. So whatever that is for you. Okay? And then it'll go in half. So then you're looking at between 13 or whatever it is you bought in at from 250, and that will lower it in half. And then to lower that in half again, another 250 when it drops down. That's how you gauge it. So if you want to get there quicker so that you lower it so that you are able to get, so you're profitable sooner, that's how you do it. Okay? If you don't care and you just, hey, listen, I'm only going to do $10 a week or $10 every 2 weeks or $10 every month, that's fine. It's just going to take you longer to get there, and hopefully the price stays low. If you don't care, right? That's the whole thing. If you don't care, you got the time, no problem. Because eventually, it's going to be 3 zeros, 6. And it can get there real fast once people understand what value is and what they're selling. Because right now, all the SHIB holders haven't got a clue what value means. Not a clue. We'll give you a little hint of that clue because we did it before, right? $56 billion, 56 billion SHIB sent to the reduction wallet. Gone forever. $306,000, right? We had a 6 to 7 times shoot up in March of last year. Probably when you bought it, Spo. Right? Big shoot up. Went up to 4 or 5. Okay, then it dropped like a stone for a little while. Then it went back up, dropped like a stone to 28, back up to 36, 30, 36, 37, dropped right back down to 28, 29, dropped to 25. Went back up to 36, then dropped back down, then went up, back down. A couple of times. Around $6 to $7 billion in transaction fees. Transactions. 6 to 7 billion. Different transactions, right? Trillions, hundreds of trillions of SHIB worth trading hands in between not even a tenth of a cent. Like, unreal. A millionth of a cent. Trading in between those points. Again, the 6,133,734.60 was done 4 years ago up until now. Right? All that was given back to the entire SHIB community. The 6 million was given back to you. Everybody in SHIB, right? How many of them realized it? Why? How can we say that? Well, what happened to it? They sold it. Yeah. It went right back down. Let's look where it is now. It's nowhere near where it was before. And that's 6 million compared to 300,000. There's your 35 times. You're 12 times from the time it was high. So is it going to get back there? Absolutely. When is it going to get back there? Mikey's comment. Thank you for responding, by the way. Proof of. Yeah, but you'll know. Okay, Mike's comment is talking about staking and proofing, and staking and working. Sorry. So the working is done at the top. The top main focal points of the cryptocurrencies is all work. If you notice, all the other ones are staking. That's because the amount of work that's caused is giving you less, but it's more secure. Notice that, eh? You're getting less, but it's more secure. The staking is still on a DeFi centralized exchange. So it's supposed to be secure, but because of the way that they do the transactions, it's not. Because it's in and out, in and out, in and out, and it's based on bots or based on trading on the day that it's happening. So you get a percentage of that. You get a higher percentage than at work. So the work is different because it doesn't look at the daily, it looks at the weekly or the monthly. And it's usually on the top exchanges. So that's why when you're thinking about that, that's where you got to be very, very careful on which exchange you're on, right? Especially when you're staking. It's less secure. Yes, but you're better return on your money. That's also true. You get daily activity, not monthly. Work is weekly to monthly. And it's only on the top exchanges, like the very top, the ones that deal with billions and billions of transactions a day, right? Millions of dollars, billions of dollars. So, anyone else want to take a shot at what we do here? Why we're here? We're here to promote SHIB, increase awareness to the entire world. I think 35 times your money is pretty damn good, right? And that's if it doesn't do any more reductions and if we don't get any more new wallet holders, right? If we get more wallet holders, what's going to happen? It should go up. If we burn more, it's going up. So if we reduce more circulating supply, SHIB's going to go up. That also does what to SHIB? It lowers the amount of people able to get in because it's increasing its value. We get more people coming in because we're reducing circulating supply. It's a win-win situation. It's very rare. It never happens, right? Spending proof of work means currency. Find that you can make. So it can be manipulated. SHIB doesn't have, okay, SHIB has the ecosystem development team working for them to do up the staking in SHIB. They run the show. So just so that you know. That's how they're able to do it. And it's, I think it's on Shiba Swap. I don't know if they have the Shiba Swap 2.0 yet or not. States dollar. Okay, so how would you control SHIB? You'd have to have a lot of it, trillions of it. You have to have a lot of it to manipulate it. And who's doing the staking right now? The staking is provided by Ethereum, isn't it? With SHIB? I'm pretty sure it's Watson. I'm back. I had to eat earlier. Excellent, Watson. Excellent. Massive love shout out to Watson. Yeah, so can we manipulate SHIB through staking? Very difficult. If everyone remembers the Burn wallet, that was Burn wallet. Burn address. Burn. What was it? Burn wallet. Not Burn wallet. Burn portal. Thank you very much. Burn portal of SHIB. Treat was supposed to be the byproduct of everyone going to the Burn portal in the ecosystem development team. The ecosystem development team is the one who set up the SHIB Burn stake or the SHIB staking in SHIB. So they give you 0.05%. Okay. How would you do that? You can burn as much SHIB as you want. Who has the amount of SHIB that they can burn as much as they want? The owners? There is no owners. SHIB doesn't have an owner. SHIB doesn't have CEO, CFO, doesn't have any wages. No staff that require wages. No problem. Okay, right there. Mike, they can't make any more SHIB. So the manipulation part of it would have to be from somebody or an organization or an exchange trying to buy as much SHIB as they can get their hands on. It hasn't happened yet. If we had that, we would have a bidding war, and that's when you'd see SHIB take off like a bat out of hell. Because everybody in their right mind would start to acquire it as quickly, as humanly as possible, as quickly as fast. And because every exchange around the world wants to make money, every single one of them, and they want it all. So for one person to sit there and say they only want a certain point and they can't mint anymore. SHIB, once it's gone, it's gone. It's forever finished. Okay, so what SHIB are you talking about? Which SHIB is not decentralized? Mike, that's where you're wrong. I beg to differ, Mike. Shiba Inu, number 19 right now. It's number 19. It's got a market cap of 42 trillion in trades right now. That's how much SHIB is traded right now. 42 trillion. Mike, okay, I need you to pay attention really carefully. I need you to go to shibburn.com. I've been following it for 3 years. Okay? Not once has there ever been an increase in supply. It's always been reduced ever since I've been watching it. And Binance has taken out 1 billion every quarter. So 1 billion is sent to the reduction wallets every quarter. Okay? That's just from Binance. Now, why would they do that? Well, they get to write it off, so it costs them nothing. And they get to increase the value of SHIB. $7 billion market cap. I was looking at that earlier. It wasn't. And we're higher now. We're at 1319. 403119. It was around $7.8 billion market cap. Hold on a second. Yeah, so if you go to shibburn.com, $7.78 billion market cap. If you go to the website, you go to shibburn.com, you'll see right there 410 trillion gone, 748 billion, 802 million, 176,560 SHIBs gone forever. Forever. They're gone. Perf. Bye. See ya. They cannot replenish them. Once they're gone, they're gone. So it is 100% decentralized. I don't know where you're getting your facts are that it's not decentralized. It is decentralized. If you're looking at the ecosystem development team, they do not own SHIB. In fact, they came out 1 year after SHIB was born. Okay? Vladimir Buterin, who's not even part of them, was given 500 trillion SHIBs back in 2021. Okay? 8 months later, we have the ecosystem development team telling everybody that they are SHIB, proclaiming that they're the development team of SHIB, but they're not. In fact, the owner in 2022, after the massive run-up, 72 million% run-up, called it quits. He threw everything away. And I mean everything. He threw everything away. His name, his everything. He just turfed it. What is your use case for SHIB? So right now, SHIB is only being used for making you money. Thoughts on BTC? Okay, so what is the use case for SHIB? SHIB is constantly reducing its circulating supply, and until SHIB gets to a certain value, that we'll be able to use the currency. So then it's going to create confidence. Please keep in mind, everyone, that the amount of people in SHIB is around maybe 3, 4 million, 5 million max people throughout the entire world. There's 5.3 billion people that can possibly buy SHIB right now at the current rate that it's at. And they can do that every 2 weeks, every month. Almost every single person on the planet can afford SHIB. The question is, can they afford to get a bank account and then transfer that account over to a exchange? People in Asia and Africa, right? Majority of the people in Africa can't afford to even have a bank account. But can they afford to buy SHIB? Yes, they can. Could they afford to pool? Yes, they can. Have they done it? Well, you'll have to ask them. I don't know. It would be in their best interest to do that, considering the amount of that SHIB is worth right now compared to what it will be worth later on. Now, how long? That's a good question. I wish I had a crystal ball to tell everybody that, listen, tomorrow we're going to go and do 100x. We're going to reduce, all of a sudden the banks are going to take over and they're going to start reducing SHIB on a constant basis. And then every organization on the planet, because they're all struggling to make ends meet, they're all going to want to reduce SHIB circulating supply on every single transaction. So they're going to promote that to the world, and we're going to see a massive movement in the reduction of SHIB circulating supply. Therefore, we're going to see a massive increase in the volatility and growth. And everybody wants to hear this one. Lucrative investment property. Because it's what you're buying, right? You're buying a currency that the utility behind it is the reduction of it. That's the utility. So right now, that's what you're buying. Is you're buying that massive utility. That's the reduction in SHIB circulating supply. Okay, BTC is great, but we suggest to everybody go to G2 mining. You want to buy Bitcoin? Go to G2 mining, where you can buy a generator, rent a generator. You rent it. They give it to you. You have to pay a bit of money to get it. Once you get it, it gives you Bitcoin. Okay, and it pays monthly. So depending on the size of the generator, because they sell different sizes of generators. I don't know what's available right now. When I was first looking at it, it was $25 for the smallest one. That gave you approximately 1/1,000,000th or 10th of a billionth or 10th of a millionth of Bitcoin on a monthly rate. So, and then you're paying $56, $57 a month for that. They were saying you're getting back about $105 to $106. The bigger the G2, the more you make. I didn't look it up. I was just looking through it. I'm like, I'm dependent like everybody else. Security. Where's the security in it, right? Everybody's doing the same thing, right? Where's the security in it? I'm trusting a third party. As soon as you hear third party, red flag. Right? Your money is sitting at a third party. Everybody who put their money in third parties before in cryptocurrency, how many people have any money left? Anybody? Right? That's the problem. When you're putting money into a third party, you're letting them control your money. Anytime you have that, massive red flag. Massive red flag. So if you wanted to buy that way, that's probably the easiest and the cheapest, but just keep in mind that, yeah, it's through a third party. I wouldn't stick a lot of money in it. I've had friends that tell me, I put money in a cryptocurrency, and I said, where did you put it through? It's a third party. Of course you're making money. Can you cash out the money? Well, I had one girl, she put in, I think, around $5,000 when she first started. It was up to $60,000. She pulled out $30,000. She was so happy. She took everybody to lunch. She was like ecstatic. She's like, wow, this money's really made me money, blah, blah, blah. And then all her friends, everybody who invested with this company, it went tits up. All their money gone. They said they couldn't cash out a cent. It still shows them making money, but they can't cash out any of it. It's gone. So what happens? That third party closes everything. Yeah. And all the money's gone. So anyone lost money in cryptocurrencies, when you go through a third party, big red flag. Big red flag. So just so that you know, don't fall victim to those to any of that. We don't know where you're from in the world. We can't really recommend anything. We just look at what everybody's holding. So if OKX has got 10 trillion SHIB, they should be able to cash you out. But only if they are hoarding a bunch of it. Like Gate.io hoards 3 trillion of theirs. So Gate.io is pretty safe, right? Bitcoin, BTC, not BTC, Bitcoin doesn't hoard anything. Bitcoin's decentralized, just like SHIB. Identical in two different spectrums. But SHIB is completely opposite of Bitcoin. Bitcoin started with a small, 10 million, right? 15 million Bitcoin or 16 million Bitcoin. Well, someone said they had infinite before. I don't know exactly. I just know when they started it, the 4 people got put in jail. They took them, all their cryptocurrency, all their Bitcoin, and hoarded it. Confiscated it because it was used for illegal activity. Which I think is... we can talk about this at a later time. Okay, with SHIB, similar to Bitcoin. Except when Bitcoin started, it started off with a fixed amount and then started incrementing the amount. SHIB started with a massive amount and starts reducing it. Right? 2 different systems, 2 different outlooks. Which one's better? Well, SHIB is cheaper than Bitcoin. Bitcoin also started a lot earlier. And Bitcoin had a lot more explosivity because it didn't have to go through all these different cryptocurrencies. It only had a few, only had 50 to 60 cryptocurrencies that it was dealing with. And they were exploding all at the same time, but they weren't growing anywhere near what Bitcoin was growing after after Congress started releasing the Bitcoins out for like a lot more money than what was available at the market value at that time. Like I think it was around $50, $60 per Bitcoin. And then when they took it over, it was instantly $500 and you had to buy 1,000 lots. Just saying. SHIB doesn't have that problem, right? As of yet. It might. Banks might start trying to confiscate it from other organizations, saying that it's not legit. Right now, it's not legal tender, so please take that with a grain of salt, right? Everything that we talk about in here. Our disclosure is this isn't financial advice whatsoever, so please take it with a grain of salt. It's for your entertainment purposes only. And we're here to have fun and enjoy the ride. Make you as lucrative as possible, absolutely. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get extremely wealthy. Extremely quickly, absolutely. That's why we promote the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle to the entire world. What's the raffle do? Raffle's made for winners. Period. Everybody wins in the raffle. No one loses. Everybody wins. The winner gets the amount of SHIB that's available, and then 50% of the proceeds goes straight to the reduction wallet. So who benefits from it? Everybody in SHIB. That's you, me, everybody that's in it. So if you're in SHIB, you benefit from it. Who loses? Nobody. The people that didn't buy SHIB. That's who loses. Okay. Right. Still only 5x. How do you figure 35x? Okay. So we just burned 56 billion last year. $306,000 worth went back to the SHIB community. Went back to everybody, Mike. Everybody got $306,000 that was in SHIB. It took them 3 months, 3.5 months. Same thing would happen with Vladimir Buterin when he burned it. It took a long time before it went up, right? Same problem. And it was already rising when he did, when it was going down, when he got the 500 trillion SHIB. SHIB went down when they burned 556 billion SHIB. SHIB went down. A month, just in January, February, we did consolidation. Remember this? We went and did this consolidation. BTC just did their what? They just got approved for their ETF. They went from 28,000 all the way up to what? 80. They went to 80,000 and then back down. They hit all-time highs. They went right back down. They jumped back up to 83, 84, 80, almost 85,000, then jumped back down. Then they jumped back up to 90,000. And then they went back down to 90, 85, 86,000. Stayed there for a little while. Dropped back down to 78, 77. Went back up to 90. Hit 93, 94, 95. Dropped back down. But did they do it like SHIB did? No. They did theirs later on, toward the June, right? Month of June. And then they had a big sell-off. They went to 107. SHIB went to 6 to 7 times there. 6 to 7 times. And then they had a drop in March. So it went up in March and then started dropping in March. It went around the 14th or 15th. From March 3rd to the 15th, we had this massive run, right? This just take off. 6 to 7 times your money. And then we had a sell-off. No carry-through. None of the exchanges burned any SHIB. They made all this money, but they didn't do any reductions. So they missed opportunity? Absolutely. All you do is burn it and then watch it fly again. Takes around 3 to 4 months before people realize what's going on. I don't know why. It should be instant, right? You think that when you burn that much money sent to every single person that's in SHIB, you'd think that it would just go off. It would just explode. Yeah, well, Doge went from what, 6 cents all the way to 48 cents. That's not bad. You know, like it's not bad at all. 8 times your money. Right, exactly. 8 times. And SHIB only did 7. SHIB should do what? A lot more than 7 when it's reducing. Doge doesn't reduce anything. SHIB is reducing, and it gets less. Pepe doesn't reduce anything either. But Pepe, wow, look at Pepe go. Right? It doesn't reduce a single coin. And look at it fly. SHIB's reducing all the time. I don't think people understand what that reducing does. It takes away everybody else's chances to buy in. Like, that's the concept, guys. That's the whole purpose of what SHIB's doing for the entire world, is giving them that opportunity to make enormous amount of money because of the reductions. Everybody else is sitting on the sidelines saying, hey, we got governance, we got people selling it, we got people advertising it, we got people coming up with new ideas on it. What does SHIB have? SHIB's just a currency that keeps reducing its circulating supply because it benefits the shareholders, the SHIB holders. The SHIB holders benefit because of the reductions in SHIB circulating supply. But what are they doing about it? Well, SHIB doesn't have anyone. It doesn't have wages to pay out. There's no advertising costs. And if you look at the SHIBarium team or the SHIB ecosystem team, they do nothing for SHIB. What do? They do it for Bone, Leash, SHIB the Eternity. They do it for everything other than SHIB. They take it away from it. All they do is hijack the name. That's why they came out with it a year later. They saw an opportunity to take advantage of it. They took advantage of it. They used the name to get everywhere with it. They got all the followers on X to follow them. Because why? Because they're offering something for SHIB. holders. That was how they hooked them. But what did they do for them? Well, they said they were going to do a lot, and then they turned around and said, no, we can't do that. And instead of looking at it within, like all of the exchanges should be doing right now, all of them, every single one of them should be looking at going, how can I possibly make even more money? There you go. Top holders, right? Pays very little, but at least it gives you work. Well, that's true because you know why, right? It's got a CEO. It's got somebody in there working for Doge. But if he makes a mistake and it counteracts, guess what he's going to have to do? Mint more Doge. Or do a reverse split. Now, everybody knows what a reverse split is. Does anyone know what a reverse split is? Okay? 10 to 1. So it reduces the amount of what? Available coins on the market. Right? So take Doge, take 10%, take 10 times the amount off. Yeah, you lose. That's right. You lose. It's massive, right? That's what the CEO can do. What else can he do? He can mint more, right? He's got that ability to mint more, make more coin. Everybody knows what this one will do to you. Every single person should know what that will do to you. You mint more coin, you're like a Terra Luna. Or you're like Crypto.com. You took it away, but then you put it back on. SHIB don't have any employees to do that to you. It's set in stone. So every single company, every single organization should be into SHIB. And they should be buying massive amounts of it because of the reduction in circulating supply. It's like a no-brainer. You're getting paid to reduce SHIB circulating supply. Why wouldn't you do it? You're getting paid to do it, increasing your value, increasing your earnings, revenue, and growth, all at the same time that you're reducing it. And you're not even paying for it. Now, personally, on a personal note, right, from an individual standpoint, we don't do it. Why don't we do it? Well, because we're not getting paid to do it. If we were getting paid to do it, I'd tell everybody to do it. But we don't get paid to do it. Only time we get paid to do it is when we make 100 times, 1,000 times our money. Then we get paid to do it. Every time we reduce SHIB circulating supply, we're reducing it because we don't want to pay capital gains on that money. So what we do is reduce the amount of capital gains that we have on that so that we don't have to pay that money back to the government. It goes right into the community of SHIB because that's who got us here. So we give it back to the SHIB community so that we don't have to pay taxes on it. That's the only way it works. So where does SHIB need to go for that to happen? Exactly. Then it becomes an individual. But until that time, it's a corporations that are going to do it because they're getting paid to do it. They're getting paid to reduce the circulating supply of SHIB. So why would you do it on an individual point? Unless you're already making millions, you're not going to do it. If you're making hundreds of thousands, okay, maybe if you need the money to pay off your house, pay your loans, you'll probably do it. But just keep in mind that you got to pay taxes on that. That's capital gains. And depending on which country you're in, will depend on how much you pay. In India, like Canada, 50%, right? So 50% of it's yours, 50% gets taxed. Okay? Not 50% goes towards the government. 50% gets taxed. So in Canada, it's 27%. Understand that? If you're in Canada, 27% from the 50. So if it was $100,000 profit, 50,000 of it's yours. $50,000 gets taxed at 27%. Make sense? So that you have to pay that to the government. So if you're smart, what you would do is reduce the 27% off the $50,000, give that back into the SHIB community, then you cash out, keep the wallet address, keep the amount that you've reduced it to. That was my loss. Capital gains, capital loss, boom, done. Don't pay a thing. If you're smart about it. That's how you work it. So for everybody, It's the exact same idea. So it's the exact same thing in India. The United States has different rules depending on how long you hold it for. Just so that everybody knows. That's the whole purpose of SHIB, is to make money, make everybody happy, make everybody lucrative. Exactly. We want to make sure everybody has a chance to be extremely wealthy. That's why we do these. And that's why we host the SHIB 50/50 raffle every single night. So that yesterday we missed it. Sorry, guys. Sorry we didn't host last night, but tonight we're hosting it. And I'm Will, your host of the SHIB Worldwide 50/50 raffle. I just want to say good night. God bless and have a great, wonderful night. We do remind you, everybody, John 3:16. Why do we say John 3:16 every night? Anybody? God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. Now imagine giving your son, knowing he was going to die for every single person on the planet so that they would have eternal life. What would that do for all of you, right? The love that he never knew you, but he gave his life for you so that you would have eternal life. God bless each and every one of you. Jesus loves you. Have a great and wonderful night. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night from wherever you are in the world. And thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate you. Take care of each other and look after yourselves. Jason Cox, good night, buddy. Love you. Take good care. Okay? Cheers. Good night, babes. Good night, stray dog. Good night, Mike. Good night, Watson. Good night, Spoil. Good night, Babes Channel. Good night, Rowena. Good night, Wenna. Good night, cool guy. Even though you didn't talk much. Good night. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. We're here roughly around the same time. Our raffle starts at around 6 o'clock. Right now it's 6:29. We would have been done by now, hopefully. If we had a lot of buyers into the crypto, into SHIB, it could take a while. Especially if we do over a certain amount, 2 or 3 trillion. Yeah, it's going to take us. It's not going to take us a day. It's going to take us days. So the hosting the raffle every single day would just get snowballed over to the next day, right? Because it would take us a few days to get things organized, and then once it gets organized, we would be doing winners like every hour or every other hour. We would probably get very little sleep the first little while, but yeah, the amount of winners that we can possibly have, we sold the maximum supply is what did I say? 12 winners? No, 48 winners. No, not 2,800 winners. There we go. Hey, 2,800 winners. It would take us a little while to get through those 2,800. The first 500, 600 probably be within the first couple of hours, depending on if they wanted their wallets sent. Okay, if they don't want their wallets reset, then it would be quick. But if they don't want to use the wallet that they sent it in, then it would take longer. Please understand that, right? Everybody, you understand that concept? But that would mean 294 billion SHIB, 294 trillion SHIB sent to the reduction wallet, half the supply. And then we would have half the supply again. So it would take us about a week to 10 days to get over all those numbers, get everybody awarded, and then the massive reduction afterwards. So we would be like hosting every day about celebrating everybody getting their money. So yeah, we would probably get very little sleep. And then the next raffle draw, again, if we sold the max, right now we only have 14 winners, 1,400 winners. Then we only have half of that supply. You understand where we're going with this? Half and half and half. Within less than a year, if it were to continue, we would have no supply left. We would have within 4 months, 5 months, we would be under 1 billion SHIB. Within around 4 to 5 months. Literally would have no supply because we can't. It would take us a long time to spread those winners out, and then now have the next draw another 6-7 days. Next time would only take us 4 days, 5 days. Next time would only be 3-4 days. You see how it's going, right? Because we're getting less and less supply. There's less and less winners, and that's not taking into consideration the price jumps. So, mass love, shout out, and take good care of yourselves, and God bless each and every one of you. Take good care. Good night. Hallelujah. Thanks for coming in, guys. Take good care of each other.